Here we have a Régence pattern chess set that we're selling on eBay this week. Now this is a cut above most of the Régence sets that you'll see for sale. Why do I say that? Well, it's a fairly early example. It has the longer thin stem and the larger collar on the pawns, which is one indication, and also the knights are rather nicely carved in the round. Someone's taken a bit of care with them. They've tried to put little eyes on them to make them look nice, and so on. But I'm going to give you briefly go through what we've got with this Régence set. It's a fairly standard early 18th century Régence set. It's got the end bases on the kings and queens, on the royals, and this sort of pointy ball that the French always used on the top. These are fools, not bishops. The French went to some trouble in a magazine called Le Palamède to point out that they didn't have bishops in their chess sets, they had fools. And it's got the pointy top, and it's got this cut on the collar of the bishop, perhaps just to make sure you can differentiate it. You can differentiate because it's got this ball stem rather than the urn shape, and also the knights. It's a nice carved knight on the top, of course boxwood, and this is ebony or rosewood. It's one of the darker woods. And this again has got the ball on the stem. Quite nicely carved thing that. And this rook is there's some two basic designs of rook that the Régence pattern sets have, and one is the one where it just goes straight up and down, a bit like this St George set I've got here for comparison, and the other one is this with the little nipped in collar underneath. And as I say, the pawns with the long stem and the big collar indicating that, and I see actually now that this is stained boxwood, not rosewood, so that was my mistake. It's on this we chose this smallish board with the raised sides because it's a club set, and this is a club board. And in the Régence chess club in Paris, where this was their sort of chess set design that they used, they played inside like a sort of a board in a tray. So we felt that was appropriate. Now there was a lot of controversy over the Régence versus the St George pattern set, which in the early part of the 19th century these would be the two. The sort of Storm pattern set hadn't been thought of yet. And I think Howard Staunton's very famous for saying that we didn't like them. The queens and bishops were too similar, and they were a bit tippy, you know, and you couldn't tell the difference, and they could tip over easily. Well, you know, they're not that bad actually. He was maybe, you know, he liked his St George, and this is a sort of pattern of set that he would have had, a St George pattern set. He was instrumental in establishing the St George Chess Club in London, and you know, so what things can we say about the St George set? Well, you know, they're a bit blocky, and you can't see the pawns in front of the pieces very easily. You've got to sort of get at the right angle. So whether that affected the way they played in those days, I don't know, but it's an interesting idea. This knight on this particular set is quite well carved. I don't want to go into too much because I'm not selling this one, but certainly later in the 19th century and into the early 20th century, they went on to carve knights in a slightly more chunky looking way, and this nicely carved in the round type of knight was kept for the better set. So this is a reasonably good quality set, and it would have been used and played at a time when the chess players were playing fairly romantic chess and playing lots and lots of gambits, and you know, you would see the King's Gambit decline typically and that sort of thing. So you know, always immediately tackling the centre. And of course chess is still played that way, but anyway, there it is, a rather nice set, quite a good board, a little bit of staining on the board on the top there. The set itself has had the bishops subbed in because it had the wrong bishops in when I got it, but it's a good set, and I hope the person who buys it likes it. Thank you.